everyone. This is not your typical Mr. Beast short form content, instant dopamine gratification in the first 10 seconds of the video. There's not going to be any super crazy editing. It's going to be simple, easy business content that you should implement, or if you're just trying to quit short form content, because this is what this video is about. So if you can't watch like a 10, 15-minute video, I'm sorry, but you're screwed. Okay. Now with that out of the way, let's actually get into the video. Now, most of you watch short-form content if you're watching this video. Then why the hell you're not watching this? The first thing you need to understand is your time. Now, most people, when they're at a young age, including me, see time as an abundant resource that you can use it however you want. You can hang out with everything. You say yes to everything. You don't never say no to anything. Like, you do everything, There's a problem with this. You only have so many hours in a lifetime, really, And let's say your time is kind of filled. This isn't really a good example. I'm just going to remove this real quick. Let's say your time's kind of like a pie chart almost, Well, the problem is a third of that time is already spent sleeping, okay? And let's say you live for 90 years, okay? So already 30 years, you're already asleep, okay? So that gives you 60 years to work with, okay? Now we have, I don't know, maybe some work, school. You kind of get my point here. I don't know, like traveling, food, that kind of stuff. Okay. So now we have a good kind of chunk to work with here. So we probably have like maybe 30 to 40 years, probably 30 to 45 years of just, you living your life, Here's the problem with that. That's how many you spend watching short form content or insert instant gratification. Yeah, that I stands for instant gratification. Or, just any sort of thing that, just gives you pleasure immediately, with the click of a phone to turn it on, with the touch of a finger, and then just moving your thumb to get instantaneous gratification. That sounds like a good idea, right? So now that 30 to 45 becomes 5 to 10. So, why is this a problem? Because you might be thinking, 30 to 45 years, 5 to 10. Most of the short form content is pretty pleasurable, right? You feel good in the moment, you feel, like you're getting all this dopamine, you feel happy. Here's where that's kind of not correct. I'm going to explain it to you. So, we are humans, right? So, we are a human. Hey there, this is Bob. Now, Bob's not very smart. He's comprised of two different things. The brain and the body. Now, when you're watching short form content, you're not really using your body. It's mostly your brain. You are using your body to to flick it with your thumb, but that's not really. You're not really like losing anything from the body. It's mainly the brain that suffers, because I'm just going to draw a brain out. Okay, we're gonna add some wrinkles. Your brain is pretty old, and the fact that it was designed for our ancestors back on the African plains, hunting like buffaloes for 20 miles or whatever lived in Africa at that time, like antelopes and stuff like that. And it was meant to process somewhat simple stuff. It wasn't like meant to have, a new form of like stimulus. Stimulus is just something that comes into your environment. It wasn't engineered to have a stimulus come into its environment every like 30 seconds. Because what you're basically doing when you're scrolling, each time you scroll down to a new video, you're adding a new stimulus and something your brain has to work with. It's like almost. Let's go ahead and word this. Here it is. So when like you're in school and you're doing homework, it's almost like every time you scroll, Imagine your brain is the student. Imagine, and the homework each time you scroll. Each time you scroll, you add another paper, another question, another thing the brain has to process, analyze, and just store. And it's almost like storage, like Google storage. We have a certain amount of terabytes. Every time you scroll, you're adding more and more junk files to the thing. It's just filler. It's like almost like just like all the stuff you don't want. It's like filler. You know what I mean? Like a kind of like almost like a movie sometimes. Sometimes like some of the first parts are just filler, so you can get to the good shit. That's kind of what short form content is. So each time you scroll, you are in a new environment. That means a new stimulus for your brain to process, making you use more calories, and you're more stressed. It's crazy. You're more stressed because a new environment's like, oh wait, there could be danger here. Because that's how our brain was engineered back in the day. We can't really change our brain like that. So have you ever wondered like a dark alleyway? Your brain's like always like when you see a person, sometimes says rude to stare. Makes sense, but our brain does that in the first place. See, is this person a threat? Is this person a threat? Each time you scroll, you're doing a new environment that stresses your body out because you're like, is this a threat? Is this a threat? New environment? Is this a threat? You're overloading your brain. It's rotting away. And the crazy part is your brain takes all this information, all the stimulus. There's so much stimulus in a short amount of time. Your brain can't handle it. So you know what it does? It just throws it away. Now you might be thinking, that's a good thing, But here's the fucked up part. Tell me this. Can you remember anything you watched from short form content a week ago? Like 5 videos. Can you remember 5 videos? No? Maybe, if you can, maybe 10? Okay. Can you remember the last 5 movies you watched? Okay, you probably can. You get my point? You can't. This is the shit that's scary. You can't remember what the fuck. You can't remember I'm trying to get the words out. You cannot remember anything from short form content. Anything. So what you are doing is you are sitting down on your phone and you are basically burning away your most valuable asset, which is your time. Because we can't get any of it back. The only way we get this back is through if we extend our lifetime via working out, via getting healthier. That is the most valuable resource. We can get money, we can get shit, but we cannot get more time. I cannot stress this to you. And you know what we do? It's crazy. We just throw it away. That is what makes short form content so fucking scary. You only, if we go back to here, you only have so many years. It'll eventually go away. Why the hell would you spend 80% of your free time? 80%. When you can't even remember it, just for some short form gratification. That is what you need to work on. Okay? Now, this is all good and all, right? But you might be asking, well, what the fuck? How do I solve this, Charlie? This is such a big issue, Well, here's what we gotta do. So, your brain has neural pathways that it likes to recognize stuff. It likes to just it likes the same thing over and over again. You know why you like your parents? Because they just served you a lot of impressions, The more we're exposed to something, the more we like them, So the more short form content, and then also your dopamine receptors, you have like an abundance of them. And when you stop short form scrolling, it hurts. It really does. It hurts because your dopamine receptors are dying, which is, good. We want them to not have as many. So your dopamine threshold's a lot lower, So you might be asking, well, how do you do this? You can't have the willpower. You just have to cut it. You have to cut it at the thing, okay? So imagine you have this little, tube. And imagine short form content is almost like siphoning your brain power away. So instead of adding shit that would make short form content harder to do, we have to just remove it outright. Prevention is better than cure, okay? We just have to prevent watching short form content in the first place. How do we do that? We destroy. the more drastic action you take is correspondent to how much effort you have to put into doing it to get the gratification back, okay? So what I mean by this is, let's say you're addicted to Instagram Reels, right? And you only uninstall the app. Well, that's not very much of an investment because all you have to do is reinstall the app and bang, you're back. That's not a lot of effort. But if you delete your account and you just almost like block it, you have to reinstall the app, remake your account, and you have to continue to scroll again until you get your feed, which you like again. That's a lot more work. So the effort in which you put to destroy something is the amount of investment that you're going to get rid of it. Okay? Okay. Again, another example could be like a PS5. Like if you destroy your PS5 with like an axe, well, there's no going back from that. Unless you want to buy another thing for $500, So, we destroy. Now, in this video, there is, not video, but there is many, go on the App Store, there's many apps that allow you to block short form content. There's stuff like Ban Scroll, I think that's one. But you know what I mean. Just look up like ban short form content and like shit will pop up. You can download it easy peasy. Another alternative is just delete the apps outright. And that's going to be painful. And 90% of you watching this aren't going to do that, So I'm just saying, like, if you're addicted to TikTok, delete your fucking account and delete the fucking app, If you're addicted to Instagram, delete fucking Instagram. Delete fucking Snapchat, Delete these apps. Delete them. I'm going to go back to this. It takes up so much of your time. You only have so many. I can't stress this enough, So just please have the humility from listening to this video and actually do this because you'll be so much happier. And when you're older, you'll think, when you're doing this, because that's what most people are gonna be like. They're gonna be like, fuck, you wasted your years, I cannot stress that enough. Your time is your most valuable asset. Do not fucking waste it watching harmful content. Now, if you want to improve your life and you want to have more of this kind of content around this, there is a link in the description. It's completely free. There's people starting online businesses, agency consultant businesses to help yourself actually, get rich and, not have to live off short form content and not have to get instantaneous gratification. You can actually build something that is meaningful. So if you want to change your life, it's going to be painful. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be painful. There's 45 hours plus content. And if you get the paid version, which isn't that much, honestly, for how much shit's in there, you will make progress. You will get what you want. It's just going to be painful, and you're going to have to do the work. Okay? Okay. So the link description again. Do the shit I told you to do in this video if you're addicted. Okay? Okay. Have a nice day.